watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Let's go through our Week 5 preview and predictions. I'm going to tell you how the New Orleans Saints, Kellen Moore, and Spencer Rattler can get their first win with the New Orleans Saints over the New York Giants. Fun fact, the black and gold, they're favored. They are expected to win according to Vegas. And if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. So if you think the New Orleans Saints are going to walk out with a W, hit the thumbs up icon. But I am here to tell you right now, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. It's two teams that both fan bases are going to sit here and say, that's a winnable game, and you should win that game. And I think for both squads, it's an opportunity to build some momentum and create some good plays and create some confidence for these squads. The New Orleans Saints 0-4. The Giants just last week took down the Los Angeles Chargers in a surprising victory in Jaxson Dart's first start. And if you want the black and gold to get their first win of the season, of the Kellen Moore era, Spencer Rattler's first win, smash the thumbs up icon like this video right here, right now. Let's take a look at the updated injury report. This video filmed as a part of our Thursday live show. We go live every Thursday afternoon to get you ready for the Saints game day. So I highly encourage you to tune in next time if you want to get this info live. Now, the New Orleans Saints, in terms of the injury report, have a handful of updates. The Giants, not so much, but we're going to go through the notable updates for both teams here. Juwan Johnson, Trevor Penning, both were listed as non-participants on Wednesday. Thursday, they were limited. Now, Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill, their designations have not changed. They are still limited participants as they work to get back on the field. Trey Palmer was downgraded with an ankle injury. Justin Reed was upgraded with a knee injury. He was a full participant. So was defensive tackle John Ridgeway with that shoulder injury. I do think he's somebody who will be active. Devon Godshaw did not participate on Thursday due to rest. Isaac Yadam downgraded from a limited participant to a non-participant as well. For the Giants, Tyler Newman upgraded to a limited participant. Greg Van Roten upgraded to a full participant. And Andrew Thomas, he was listed as a limited participant after not showing up on Wednesday. Both of these squads have been a little bit underwhelming on the offensive and defensive sides of the football. It's no mystery that the Saints offense has been lackluster. They lack explosive plays. That being said, they do have guys who are playmakers, which is really, really frustrating considering I believe this roster is more talented than they like to be considered, in my opinion. Now you can see points per game. It favors the defense for the Giants, but just barely. Yards per game, yards per play, kind of back and forth between the two. And third down, I think that's going to be a very important part of this matchup for both squads to try to win. And in the red zone, the New Orleans Saints offense, only 50%. That's good for 21st in the league, but the Giants defense is really, really bad at getting stops in the red zone. Now, let's flip the script here and look at the Saints defense versus the Giants offense. And you can see, again, two squads that have not been living up to the hope and the expectations of the fan base. I mean, yards per game, points per game, yards per play, third down, red zone, all of these not very high in terms of the rest of the league. Red zone percentage specifically for the Giants offense is really, really bad. But the Saints, they're not great at getting stops down inside the 20 either. So for New Orleans, I think that this is going to be a really important matchup to give Spencer Rattler an opportunity to show that he can still run this team and he can still be the guy. We're going to go through my keys to victory here in just a second, but I want to just re-emphasize the importance of getting the run established early, feeding Alvin Kamara, giving Kendre Miller opportunities. And I think that if you want to see the Saints win, you have to be willing to push the ball downfield more often. Because right now, the black and gold are just not creating explosive opportunities despite having players who are in themselves extremely, extremely explosive. So key to victory number one, here's how the New Orleans Saints can get their first win. You beat New York if you make Jaxson Dart look like a rookie. And I want to make something very, very clear here. I don't think Jaxson Dart in his rookie debut was anything unbelievable. That being said, a win is a win is a win. You take down an undefeated, considered one of the best teams in the Los Angeles Chargers last week. Jaxson Dart, the touchdown, it wasn't a throw, it was a little shovel pass. And, you know, he is going to be somebody who can utilize his legs as well. I think that the Saints need to put pressure on him, need to get after him, need to do a good job in coverage, need to take away the reads from him, and hopefully the pass rush can get home enough to create plays and not get gashed if he wants to take off and start running. That is a big, big thing for the New Orleans Saints. Make Jaxson Dart look like a rookie. Put those rookie struggles on this quarterback because this is his second time going out on the field. You can as a starter, but you can definitely make his life very difficult, especially with that dome field advantage. Another key to victory, some of these are really just like, I'm sorry, but it's just like, no duh. But when you're rebuilding, a lot of the fixes are, well, no duh. Stop the run. The New Orleans Saints, they're terrible at stopping the run. Cam Skattebo, he's pretty much the only player on the Giants offense that is a game breaker. Malik Neighbors is out, and he is on season-ending IR for the Giants. And the New Orleans Saints defense against the run, they allow 4.0 yards per rush, which is 13th in the league. They allow 118.8 rushing yards per game, which is 18th in the league. And they allow 1 rushing touchdown per game, which is 16th. Cam Skattebo, although he may eat crayons, he's going to run through you. He is a tough guy. This skull right here, he is actively speed running, getting CTE. But that is not going to slow him down. That is going to only cause problems for the New Orleans Saints. And damn it, I wish that we would have drafted him because goodness gracious, I love watching this guy play football. All in all, you have to stop Cam Skattebo. His contact balance is incredible. He falls forward. He's somebody who's a physical runner who seeks out contact. Like, I am really impressed with Cam Skattebo, and I'm really upset that he's not in the black and gold. But the New Orleans Saints have to find a way to slow down the battering ram in New York. We're going to tell you some more keys to victory and go through my score predictions and, of course, Loco Lopez's score predictions because it's not a video without Loco Lopez. We're going to tell you quickly about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make some money on this game day, Saints vs. Giants, I highly encourage you to download the Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS, and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You and I make decisions every day, but over on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid, so don't miss on any of the excitement this season over on Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to pick more on Josh Allen's passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, well, now you can, and you can pick all of them in the same lineup only over at Prize Picks. For this game, I put down $20, and if I win, $120 coming right to your boy. Chris Olave finds the end zone. Cam Skattebo finds the end zone. That's what's going to happen. Fun fact about Cam Skattebo, he is the guy who gets pretty much all of the red zone touches, and he is Marshall said there's only been one other player who has a rushing touchdown inside the red zone, and it's Jaxson Dart. So that's pretty interesting. I think this is going to make us some money this week. You should definitely take advantage of this deal. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup if you use code CLNS over on the Prize Picks app. So download it today. Use that code CLNS, and you can take advantage of the $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Use the link in the comments and description of this video to get started today. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. This is a very obvious key to victory, and this is something that I will continue to harp on until they frickin' do it. I am so tired of the New Orleans Saints playing an undisciplined and unclean brand of football. You have to win on third down. It's inexcusable to completely whiff on third down. Offensively, reminder, they rank 24th in the league with a 35.6 conversion rate on third down. Defensively, they rank 27th with a 42.6 conversion rate. That's not good. Going through the history of third down, defensively, you need to keep an eye on Dart with his rushing ability. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen mobile quarterbacks gash my freaking defense, and I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to see it week in, week out, and never get fixed. The other thing about this team is the defense needs to find a way to get off the field on third and long. Crazy, I know, but third and long is a gift. And if you cannot execute on third and long, guess what? It doesn't matter, because third down is another opportunity to keep the drive alive, and the Saints need to be better. The Bills, they went 3 of 10 on third down. The Seahawks went 3 of 9 on third down. The Niners went 8 of 15 on third down. The Cardinals, 6 of 13. That's a grand total of 20 out of 47 attempts. You got to be better. You have to be better on third down. And offensively, you can't stall out. You have to keep the drives alive. How many times have we seen the New Orleans Saints make a couple plays, get a couple chunk yardage, or a couple big chunks of yardage, move the ball well, and then you get a penalty, and then it completely kills the drive, and then you just never get the ball rolling again? They have to keep drives alive. They cannot stall out. The Bills, the offense, 5 of 13, 5 of 15 against the Seahawks, 4 of 11 against the Niners, 5 of 14 against the Cardinals. So, key to victory, it's not just winning on third down, convert 6 third downs. You haven't won when you converted 5, try converting 6, and maybe we can walk out with a victory. And this kind of goes to my point as well. You just got to play a cleaner brand of football, man. You have to play cleaner football. The New Orleans Saints, nor the New York Giants, in my opinion, actually, have a good enough roster to dig themselves out of severe holes whenever they are finding themselves in a hole. And I think with New Orleans, this is a team that I really, really, really am frustrated with, because the harping of penalties is something that is not a one-year problem. This has been a problem for the past few years. And I will give a lot of credit. This past week against the Bills, the Saints did a great job limiting the penalties. They let the Bills get all the penalties. But the Bills have a good enough roster to be able to work around those and work through those and still win. The New Orleans Saints, the New York Giants, fun fact, same amount of penalties. Both have 35 total penalties on the season. 320 yards versus 252. That right there tells me a lot of pass interferences, a lot of downfield penalties, a lot of inopportune mistakes for New York. And we all know there's one guy on the defensive side of the football for New York that's a very familiar face. And I want to go just a quick little tangent here, Lopez. Paulson Adebo. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Paulson Adebo, he was a player that the Saints let walk in free agency. And he is making his return to the Superdome with the Big Blue. And Paulson Adebo, if you remember, I believe it was against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football, suffered a severe leg injury. And for the Giants, he's had a couple of dropped picks. He's had a couple of plays be made. He's gotten burned a handful of times. But he's a player who this receiving core and this offense has experience practicing with and competing against on the practice field. And so I think that this is an opportunity to see the receivers, to see Kellen Moore, to see Spencer Rattler, to see this entire team try to pick on a player that they know may have a few weaknesses or may not be strong at one thing. Like, I'm not saying that you got to pick on Paulson Adebo because he's easy to pick on, but the Giants' defensive backs, the Giants' secondary, I mean, it's okay. Their bread and butter is their pass rush. And so for the New Orleans Saints, I'm not saying pick on Paulson Adebo, but you know his strengths and you know his weaknesses. Exploit those and avoid the strengths. And I think that if you're Kellen Moore, if you're Spencer Rattler, Kendre Miller, Cam Jordan, not Chase Young, he's not playing. If you're any of these players that's active on game day, you have to have the attitude of win at all costs. Can't take a loss this week. You just can't. This may be the last opportunity you get for a while to win a game. Looking ahead, some really tough matchups coming for New Orleans. And this could be the last opportunity for a while for you to truly get a win and create some momentum and create some good energy moving forward. Spencer Rattler, not going to sit here and say this is his last chance, but I think the clock is ticking for him. And I think that he needs to get a win sooner rather than later. And to be totally honest, you have to have the mindset of win at all costs. They need to find a way to beat a team that's also bad. Because if you can't beat bad teams, then you're not going to beat good teams. And you're struggling to beat good teams right now. Got to find a way to beat the bad ones so you can have some confidence and have something to build on and work forward and build to. Now, predict the score for me. Get in the comment section. Share your thoughts. What do you think the final score will be in this matchup? Lopez, I'm going to bring you on camera here in just one moment because I want you to let me know your score predictions. But, ladies and gentlemen, get in the comment section. Share your thoughts. Without further ado, Lopez, let's get you on camera. I got the Saints winning 27-21. I think that Blake Grupe will hit a field goal. I don't know what will happen there. I think he'll hit 2. And I do think we'll see Kendre Miller score a touchdown. I would love to see a Chris Olave touchdown. And to be totally honest, just give me a Rashid Shaheed deep ball. Don't care if it's points or not. But I do think that this is an opportunity for the Saints to put up some points this week. Clearly, you think the same thing. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth. I think it's going to be a close game throughout the whole thing because I think Jaxson Dart and Cam Skattebo, they're gonna have their moments. Mm-hmm. I think Blake Grupe's going to kick a field goal with about 5 minutes remaining. The Giants are going to have a chance to drive down the field and either tie it or win it. But I see the defense coming up and making a big play. I don't know who on defense. Maybe another
Jonas Sanker.
Quincy Riley.
Danny Stutzman.
Quincy Riley first pick.
Quincy Riley. Oh, my God. You know how much energy I would get? You know how juiced I would get if we saw Quincy Riley or Jonas Sanker log an interception this week? I mean, goodness gracious. That's what I need. I need it. I see some 27-24 from Daniel, family member of Tyler Shuck. Shout out to you, Daniel. 28-10 from Jerry G. Isaiah Tobar, legend here at the channel. 24-21 Saints. Chase, 31-28. He agrees with you, Lopez. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. We'll be live on game day 1 hour before kickoff for our pregame tailgate. We'll have some fun, have some drinks, and it's going to be a great game day. Hope to see y'all there. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you on Sunday.